All right, in case nobody's told you, let's be honest. Your project isn't that great. And that's not a problem. The problem is you don't know it's not that great. That is where we run into issues. Nowadays, there are a lot of independent filmmakers. There are so many people jumping into the field because the bar to entry has been lowered. So pretty much anybody can get into the game. And that can be a good thing. It could be a bad thing too, but I think it's great to see so many people coming in telling so many different stories that represent such a wide variety of people. So I love it. The bad side about it is that traditionally you take a certain path to get to the place where a lot of people are right now. And along that path, you learn some things, you pick up some things, you meet some people, you gain mentors, you gain experience so that by the time you do release a project on a major platform, you're well seasoned. You know what to do and what not to do. You know what's right and what's wrong. You know what's professional and what's amateur. But now we have so many people just bypassing all of that. We have so many people that are skipping all of that, that they have no idea that some of the things that they're doing just doesn't look good. And think about it like this. How do you tell somebody that they're doing something wrong when they've created this project and released it on Tubi and they've made a bucket load of money? Who are you to tell them what they're doing is wrong? They're making wads of cash. Money aside, if we're being honest, a lot of these projects look terrible. And again, like I said, it doesn't matter, or it's not such a big deal that your project looks terrible. You didn't have a budget. You didn't have the money. You didn't have the resources to make something that looked incredible. The problem only comes in when you don't know it. When you, the filmmaker, the creator, do not realize that you're putting out subpar content. Because that means you just don't have an eye. That means you just don't know better. And if you don't know better, it's almost impossible for you to do better because you don't see the error in your ways. I see content from individuals, and I don't know if they're thinking, well, hey, maybe if I don't say anything, the person won't see. And in some cases, that's true. Some people watch movies or some people watch series and they don't notice the little things. They don't notice that the lighting is off. They don't notice that someone's sound is off. They don't notice the rustle in the audio. They don't notice that the background music is too loud. So of course, yeah, there are people like that. But when you're showing your stuff to another professional, they're gonna see all of that. Even if our own stuff isn't superb, we're going to notice it in someone else's work. We're going to notice if the lighting is daylight or tungsten. We're going to notice if when you went outside, the highlights were blown out. We're going to notice those things. We're going to notice if you broke the 180 rule. We're going to notice if there's rustle in the lavalier mic. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to notice if there's background noise. We're going to notice if you used one of those softwares to remove noise in your audio. You can tell these things. They're artifacts, but these are from people who are professionals. We understand, we know, we can hear, we can spot it, right? And just because you don't say it doesn't mean that a person isn't going to see it. Now, maybe to a regular person who just watches movies and they get caught up in the story, they may overlook all of that. They may not even notice it. They might be like, oh, wow, I didn't even notice the boom pole was in the shot. That happens. But you have to think like this. If you noticed it, then you know that you did not put your best foot forward. And knowing that you didn't put your best foot forward, you have to stop pretending that you did. I see so many new independent filmmakers talk about Netflix and Hulu and these big channels that they aspire to getting onto. And great, there's nothing wrong with that per se. But what's wrong with that is you're not being honest with yourself. And I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're not being honest with yourself, because the other alternative is that you don't have the eye. You don't know that the camera should not be shaking. You don't know that you don't reframe in the middle of a shot. You don't know that the person's head is cut off. You don't know that the lighting is bad. You don't know that the audio is bad. And if you don't know those things, then you have a bigger problem. But if you do know those things, if you have one little inkling and you're looking back at your edit and you're like, man, that shot is off, or man, that lighting is off, or man, that actor was off. If you know this, then stop pretending that you're making Netflix quality content when you're not. That doesn't help you. That hurts you. Because when other professionals talk to you, or when other professionals see your work and you act like, hey, yeah, I'm about to submit this to HBO, I'm about to submit this to Disney, we're looking at you like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm not saying this in a way to try to beat you down. What I'm doing is I'm saying you need to step your game up if that's the direction that you're going to, right? So there are levels to quality. There's like, obviously, the YouTube level, right? Where you can just put anything on there. Then you have, let's say, Tubi, since everybody makes fun of Tubi. There's the Tubi level where they had a low bar where you can just almost get anything on there, right? Stuff shot with iPhones, stuff with terrible audio. If you find the right distributor, they will put it on Tubi for you. Then you have what I say is like BET level stuff, right? Where it's not superb, but it's not terrible, right? And then you have like Netflix level stuff, HBO level stuff, Hollywood theatrical release level stuff. Some of you are pretending that you're putting out Hollywood release theatrical stuff, and you're not. You're absolutely not. And this is where your heart also gets broken, because you have these expectations that this project that you made that is ready for YouTube, you're going to get it into, I don't know, what's a theater? Regal movie theaters. You're going to get, you're going to win an Oscar. Stop. Open your eyes, look at your content, because I'm telling you, the minute that you can look at your own content and be your own best or worst critic, however the saying goes, you are going to be able to level up your content. You're going to be able to level up your movie, your production value, because you see it before anybody else. So you have to look at this stuff with a critical eye, and you have to say, does this really look like Disney level? Does this really look like HBO level? Netflix level? Be honest with yourself. And if you can't tell the difference, ask somebody else. And don't ask your mom. Don't ask somebody that says yes to you all the time. Ask another professional, and ask them in a way where they know that they're not going to hurt your feelings by telling you the truth. The movie I did, Till Death Do Us, I knew it wasn't perfect. I knew it wasn't even close to perfect. I didn't try to pass it off like it was. I didn't run around telling people this is the greatest, the best movie shot in the world. And whether I said it or if I didn't, that doesn't change the facts. If I take a movie that's crap and I tell everybody it's the greatest thing in the world, that doesn't change it from being crap. So just because you tell somebody a lie about something, that doesn't make it real. When I look at some of my other projects, Xavier, when I put out clips of that was shot better than Till Death Do Us. When I put out Only Girl in the World, that was shot better than Till Death Do Us. When I put out my short film Regrets, that was shot better than Till Death Do Us. But none of these, in my opinion, were of like Hollywood theatrical release level. I'm honest with myself. I said that to somebody the other day, and they was like, why would you say that about your own movie? Because I know my potential. See, that's another important part of this. If you don't know your potential, or if you do know your potential, then you can immediately say, I could have done better than this. A real creative, there's always something in their work that they're like, damn, I could have done that better. That's just how creatives are. Music, fashion, art, whatever. They're just like always in this space of, I could have tweaked that a little bit better. So if you never have that emotion, if you put out a piece of content, a movie, a series, and you never feel like, damn, I could have done that better, then again, you have a problem. You're not being honest with yourself, or this just isn't the lane for you. It's just something that you were able to luck up and get into. And let me add this. If you don't have the proper budget, right, then you should make sure that your expectations match up with your budget. And if you're trying to make this big Star Wars level movie and you have like $500 to make it, you have to understand that you're going to fall short in a lot of places. And you need to meter your expectations. And I'm not saying that you should beat yourself up and don't do this and don't do that. What I'm saying is, if you're shooting a project and you don't have the money to hire the right lighting guy, you don't have the money to hire the right effects person, you don't have the money to hire the best actors, then there needs to be an expectation that your final product will fall short. That's all I'm saying. And if you know that, then when you present it to the world, when you present it to other professionals, you have to be honest with yourself. You have to know, like, yeah, this isn't my best work, but it's good enough, but this is a stepping stone to some other level. This is a stepping stone that's going to get me to the place where I'm going to have a budget, right? I just told a director friend of mine the other day, I said, you have to expect when working with these tiny budgets that at least 10 to 15% of your movie is not going to be perfect. You just have to choose where you want that 10 or 15% to land. Do you want that imperfection to be in your camera equipment? Do you want that imperfection to be in the actors that you choose, the locations, the props, the set design? But you have to accept that if you don't have the money that you need to do this properly, there are going to be shortcomings and they're going to show in your product. Just be honest. Let's just be honest. Let's stop creating crap and acting like it's the best thing. Let's stop creating subpar content acting like we belong on the Oscars. Okay? And let me also add, for the people who love to point out the anomalies. Yes, you're going to have those projects that break through and do make it. But those are the exceptions to the rule. Those are not the rule. Okay? You're going to have movies that are shot terribly, that are going to blow up, that are going to make a lot of money. They're going to get accolades for whatever reason. But that shouldn't be the goal that you aspire to. You should be aspiring to creating great content. And you can make great content with almost any budget. That is what I try to teach you on this channel, is that you can do it. You just have to match your story with your budget. You have to match what you're trying to create with what you have the access to. And that's all. Just be honest with yourself. Thanks for watching. And as always, stay creative, think outside the box, and I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Turn on your notification button.
If you're a content creator or new YouTuber, make sure you get the all-new YouTube Planner and Accountability Journal. It's packed with checklists, motivational quotes, and lots of YouTube stats. Available now on Amazon.